Hi, and welcome to the amazing world of Ollie and his superpowers. What's Ollie and his superpowers, I hear you call? It's a fantastic new model, really making the difference that makes a difference for our children and our teens' emotional well-being. So, I just want to take a few minutes of your time just to talk you through how the model works and what's so different about it. So, let's start with me, shall we? I'm Ali. I'm a therapist. I've trained in CBT, cognitive behavioural therapy, play therapy, hypnotherapy. In fact, you name it, I've probably been on a course because I'm fascinated by the subject and because I know one size doesn't fit all. And any one set of therapy rules won't necessarily work for everybody. And I think that's a bit of a problem because that means people fall through the gaps. And I figured, surely it doesn't have to be that way. Surely we can create a model that encompasses the very best of the therapy that exists. And all we really need to do is make it a little bit more user friendly. So let me talk you through how we did that. You see, it's all based on some beliefs that I have. One of those beliefs is that all behaviour serves a purpose. And most of us end up in therapy because we have a behaviour that we don't think is actually very helpful, or one that we'd rather we didn't have. And that goes for all of us, for kids, for teens, and for us as adults. And then what tends to happen is that behaviour is given a label. And once it's got a label, it fits in a container, doesn't it? Which means that any therapy has to fit that label and not necessarily the individual. I haven't met anybody that does anxiety the same as the next person that walks through my therapy door. We're all unique in how we manage the world and how our emotions manage us. So I decided that if we just worked with the behaviour, it was going to take an awful long time to make any changes because if I'm right and all behaviour serves a purpose, it's not going to change its behaviour very quickly unless we give it good cause to, unless it feels safe to. So what's driving that behaviour? Emotions. So if you think about a tree and the branches on the tree are all the different behaviours that you might see in yourself, your kids, your teens, we could spend a long time pruning them, and truth be known, they tend to grow back in a different guise. Why? Because we haven't got to the root, and the root is the emotion that has created the behaviour. But there's a problem, isn't it? How do we talk about emotions with kids? How do we talk about emotions with adults? Teenagers? Woohoo! This is, I think, what we have done very spectacularly in the Ollie model. So, in the Ollie model, we call our emotions, well, when we're around little people, we call them superpowers. But it really doesn't matter what you call them. It's the point that they are a part of you, not who you are. Think about this. Just about every school I go into who do a brilliant job trying to regulate our kids' emotions, and it's not their job. They're there to teach us to spell and do maths and clever stuff. But I'll see things up on the wall. You need more emotional resilience. You need more, I don't know, self-worth. What does that even mean? Here's the problem. Will you point to your brain for me? I'm presuming that you're playing. Now point to your heart. You can do that, can't you? Because you know where your brain is, you know where your heart is. Can you draw me a heart in the air? Of course you can, because you've seen a heart and maybe it's not biologically correct. Maybe it's just one of those cute little lovely ones. Doesn't matter. You know what I'm talking about, don't you? Kids can do that. But now, if I asked you to draw me an emotion, you might be doing a smiley face or a sad face. That's it, yeah? Can you point to where they live in your body? You'll have a hard time. Why? Because they're not an organ, are they? They're not a bone. They're not something physical. And yet we're asking our children and young adults to take control of their emotions when they're not physical. They're not solid. So one of the very simple things that we did was to make them as solid as we could by making them little versions of ourselves. And we have a whole army of them inside us. Happy, sad, you name them. There's hundreds. And by making them a part of ourselves and not who we are, we can start performing magic. Because those parts of us are a younger version of us. So they don't always get it right. And those parts of us are just part of the team and we're in charge. And sometimes they just need a little bit of help. And we can pull that part out, which allows us to reflect and look at it from a different perspective And then we can problem solve ourselves rather than needing someone external to do that for us, because if we look externally, we always will. And we know the importance of emotional well-being. It's so important. If we're not in a good place emotionally, then it's really hard to be in a good place at anything else we do. So studying at school, as hard as the teachers can work, if a child's got emotional stuff going on, they're not going to be in the room. We're not, are we? So we've created programs and courses to help everybody from 6 to 96 take control of their emotions rather than be controlled by them. So what do our courses include? I'll take you through them one by one. Let's start with the Ollie Prevent course. This came about because although we have therapists all over the country, or Ollie coaches as we prefer to call them, we're never going to have enough to get to all the kids and teens that need us. And adults. We don't just work with kids. So the Ollie Prevent course is a course that we created whereby we are working with 6-year-olds. We'll go into a school and work with the whole school of 6-year-olds. And we start teaching them about their emotions, but Ollie style, their superpowers. And we teach them about why they're different, why this scares them and that doesn't, why they feel this, why they don't feel that, why angry gets so big. But we do it through stories and metaphors, the Ollie model. In Ollie's world, your brain is a library full of memories, but you put those memories in there when you were really little. So even at 6, if something's scaring you, chances are you put that memory in when you were only 3, and you're older now, so you can take scared out, and you can let him know you're older and help him. I've simplified that, but through the Prevent course, we have children doing exactly that, and taking charge of their fears, phobias, and emotions. And anxiety. My 6-year-olds know that anxiety is just your bodyguard, and he knows that before now, this thing scared you, but before now, you were younger, so you just need to have a word with your bodyguard. Ollie Kids and Teens programs. So many children fall through the gaps, and they fall through the gaps because it's not obvious that they need one-to-one intensive therapy. They're the kind of guys that are a little bit quiet, a little bit socially awkward, a little bit off on their own. They're the ones I mean. I call them my cusp kids. Now, these guys are the ones we really do need to keep an eye on, but they don't need intensive one-to-one. They just need a little bit of help. So I created programs called Ollie Kids and Ollie Teens. It's a 6-week program, an hour a week. That's all, with up to 10 kids. And these kids at the start, they hate themselves. They hate one another. They're not that keen on me. But by the end of it, they're brothers in arms. And again, through interaction and play and metaphors, we take them through what self-worth really means. We get them to recognise their strengths, not just their weaknesses. We help them with social skills and interaction, resilience. By the end of it, you won't recognise them and they don't recognise themselves. Ollie one-to-one. Well, in the one-to-one course, that is where someone needs a little bit more intensive one-to-one. And again, the lovely thing is, our model doesn't change, just our language. So when we're working with kids and teens one-to-one, we step into their world. We don't insist that they call that outburst anger because we would. They can call it whatever they want. And we will use their language so that we keep that rapport and build that rapport and we're talking about the same thing. But the principle's the same. We don't tell them what to do. We don't fix them. We don't advise. We give them the tools to be able to deal with their problems themselves and problem solve. And we do that by allowing them to separate the emotion from self. Ollie one-to-one's really, really powerful. Well, we are all over the place and I'm really, really proud of it, but we can't be everywhere unless I get more Ollie coaches. So how about that? Do you really love what you do? Do you get up every morning and think, well, hey, another day in paradise? You go to sleep at night and think, yeah, I made a difference. I do, and my Ollie coaches do. So why not consider training to be an Ollie coach? You don't need a degree. You don't need to be a therapist. All you need to do is tell me why. I will teach you how. Because we need all different types of people so that we can provide the uniqueness for the guys that we're working with. Staff and parent training. Well, a lot of therapy happens in a little tiny room and it's all very confidential, which it should be and needs to be. But a lot of the work that the therapist does on helping someone manage their emotions or their behaviours doesn't then get shared with the people that could really benefit from knowing about it. Mum and dad, so that you can use it at home and really help the child to continue to use it and just strengthen that muscle. And staff, how cool would it be if I'm in a room with a little one and I can show them a way of controlling anger before it gets too big? How cool would it be if I actually told the teacher about it so that she could do it too? It's really, really important. And what it also means is that no one's in therapy for very long because parents and teachers literally pick up the banner for us and keep it going. And we do mentoring too, because a lot of professionals need somewhere to vent. They need somewhere safe because we're not just our job titles, are we? So we all need that safe place where we can just say, this is really worrying me, this is bothering me, this is happening. And we provide that. Ollie coaches, but we are therapists. And then we have the emotional resilience course. Well, who doesn't need a little bit of that? This course, again, just complete Ollie metaphors. But what it will do is give you the skill set to understand why you think what you think, why you act the way you act, why this annoys you and that doesn't. It'll give you the skills to not need me or any other therapist. And that is my aim. But of course we can do all this stuff, but how do we prove it works? Well, obviously we have to produce measurables. Now this was an interesting one for me because there's loads of recognised measurables out there. You might have heard of GAD scores, General Anxiety Disorder. I'd have trouble filling one of those in, let alone a child. And what does it actually say? They're very, very useful and they're used by professionals and they're used by the NHS. But for me, Ollie needs to be simple and it needs to be something you can manage and take care of yourself. So our measurables are a little bit different. What we do is we ask the teacher to list things that they think an individual might need a little bit of help with. We then ask mum and dad to do the same. The lists are very, very rarely the same. It's quite interesting. But then most importantly, we ask the young person to list what they would like to change about themselves. So we actually produce 3 measurables. But these measurables are real. They're about that individual in situ in real time. And we have nothing to do with them. Our therapists do not complete them. Mum and dad does, the teacher does, the child does. They're real measurables of change and change that matters. So I could talk and talk because I love what we do and I'm very proud of what we do. But please take a look at our website, www.ollieandhisuperpowers.com, and get in contact if you have any questions or anything that we can help you with. But for now, can I just thank you for your time? Do appreciate it. Bear us in mind and have a look at some of these testimonials. Thank you. Have a lovely day.